Most players approach Skyrim's combat in 3 different ways, with either a sword, bow, or magic. However, today, animals will be my weapon of choice. Before we begin the playthrough, I will first explain some rules for this challenge. I cannot attack or use any spells on any enemy directly. The only followers I can have are animals. Sorry, pack mule. Everything else, however, is fair game. So everyone, let's see. Is it possible to beat Skyrim by only using animals? The challenge began how every other Skyrim challenge begins.
Hey, you!
I chose a wood elf as my race as they have the command animal ability. A flying lizard came to rescue the day. I watched a man fall gracefully from the heavens and entered the fort with Hadvar. Why did I choose Hadvar? Because the Imperials are animals for banning the worship of mighty Talos. After running past all of the enemies through Helgen, I exited out into Skyrim and made my way to Riverwood. Upon arriving, I discovered a way to work around the rules. You see, if you use the command animal ability, like on this chicken, then they become your ally, meaning that you can attack them and not aggro the townsfolk. Now, you may be wondering, what use could a dead chicken possibly have? Well, with the chicken dead, you can resurrect it, making it follow you. You see, allied animals from the Wood Elf skill will fight for you, however they will not follow you into battle like a resurrected animal will. With this new knowledge gained, I made my way to Whiterun Hold and then to the Ritual Stone. The Ritual Stone lets you reanimate anything for 200 seconds, but only once per day. The best part is, when the 200 seconds is up, the reanimated undead does not turn into a pile of ash, meaning you can wait 24 hours and resurrect them as much as you'd like. Now, I just needed some troops. Do you remember that pesky pack of wolves that always ambushes you on your way to Riverwood? Well, it's time to recruit them. I lured the wolves to the townsfolk who quite aggressively took them out and gained my first soldiers. I continued to add more wolves to the pack, continued the main quest, sold some of my items, and witnessed a malfunction in Todd Howard's perfect game. I parked my wolves out the front of Whiterun, gathered some ingredients, threw a cup at Irilith, and spoke to the level 100 boss of Whiterun. He then sent me to his cocky level 1 mage who I bought the soul trap spell from. Used the previously gathered ingredients to brew some potions and soul trapped one of my parked wolves. You see, I was just trying to unlock him, and no matter how many times I used the spell, he just wouldn't budge. I used the spell so much that I got it to level 100. We'll get to why I did this later. I put some perks into the conjuration tree and headed north towards Winterhold. My pack of wolves got into a fight with a cool kid, and I was starting to get really tired of having to reset the 200 seconds of reanimation every 200 seconds. We ran into another cool kid and then a castle. You see, in any other playthrough, you could just go around this castle. But you see, what ends up happening here is the wolves get distracted by the enemies. With slight frustration running through me, I ventured up the hill, realized that I'm not a horse, and then found a stray dog. The pack took on a bandit outlaw whilst I stood back to clean up. Not much further were 2 saber cats, and if it wasn't for that stray dog, then this fight would have been a full wipe. With 2 saber cats added to the flock, I made my way to Winterhold, took Feralda's stupid test, and realised another important thing about this challenge. When I enter an interior cell, my wolves do not follow me, but the saber cats do. Also, when I exit that cell, the wolf corpses stay there, but the saber cat corpses disappear. I spoke to Mr. Jester, summoned a Dremora on the roof, watched an episode of 2 saber cats and 1 Dremora, which then got me the sigil stone. I then handed the stone to Finnis, which gave me the ability to buy master conjuration spells. There is a master conjuration spell called Dead Thrall, which allows you to summon 1 person until they die. I thought this spell worked on anything, so this whole venture out here to the college and leveling conjuration to 100 was all for nothing. I wasn't going to accept Skyrim's speciesism against spells, so I installed a mod. However, this mod had nothing to do with the Dead Thrall spell, but instead with the Ritual Stone. It simply removed the 200 second timer, meaning that I could spare my sanity I had left for another day. I utilised my new ability to fast travel, got jumped by a thief, and I called an ambulance, but not for me. Arrived at Bleakfall's Barrow, got reminded that wolves do not enter interior cells. However, this is fine, as a rat army was awaiting to be resurrected at the entrance. The saber cat got stuck on the stairs. I then watched a special episode of WWE featuring Spider-Man, Arvel from Marvel, and Stray Dog. Got saved by my dog, watched some Draugr get killed by their own traps, then found a roadblock to my progress. The animals would constantly activate the spike trap. I watched a dog commit war crimes, ran into a frost troll, entered Bleakfall's sanctum, and because this took me to a new cell, I was left with only my saber cats to fight the boss. The Overlord wiped the floor with both of them. I found a spot where I could wait 24 hours, resurrected the boys, and finally we took him down. I made my way back to Dragon's Reach to give Farfinger the Dragonstone, learnt of a dragon attack going on nearby, and got reunited with my pack of rats. I now had to fight a dragon, and my saber cats were missing, meaning I only had a dog and a few rats to fight it. When the fight was nearly over, I died, so I decided to sit in the tower and let everyone else do the work. Absorbed its soul, went on the hunt for some new crew members, and gave Bolgraf the news of the great rat victory. I then took a carriage to Riften, bought a horse, ran into plenty of animals in the forest, when a dragon swooped in and halted my progress. He got absolutely obliterated when he landed, and I made my way up the 7,000 steps. We fought an albino saber cat, got revenge on the most hated frost troll in all of Skyrim, and spoke to some old men in High Hrothgar. After showing them my cool moves, I took a carriage to Solitude to go fetch them some rusty old horn. I had a realization that space may be a problem when inside a dungeon. Then that problem became a reality, as the bears would not go through this corridor to fight the Draugr. I simply just brought the Draugr to the bears. Problem solved. Attempted to sneak past some earless skeletons, which still somehow heard me. Utilized the whirlwind sprint shout, ran past some Australian house spiders, and got scammed in the final room. The horn was not there, but instead in Riverwood. These cultists thought that I was Dovahkiin and not Animalkin. The bears did not spook Delphine at all, and she wanted proof that I was Dovahkiin. We went to fight a dragon near Windhelm, however the sheer amount of bear power was too much for this dragon. Delphine then invited me to a cool party, and I went to get my +1 in Solitude. After entering the party, I realized that the animals did not follow me inside, which made me think that this would not make the run completable. Razalon caused a distraction, my wood elf friend and I snuck out, retrieved my gear, ran past the enemies in the courtyard, and grabbed the quest items. Now I needed to kill this Thalmor dude to continue the mission. However, the pack of animals were being douchebags in the other courtyard. So, that is it. This was the end. There was nothing that I could do.
Court, you can't just give up now. You've come so far. Surely there is a way to complete this mission. You must keep trying.
And who are you?
I'm the narrator who has been here the whole time, but you seem to always take my job and narrate everything.
Oh yes, sorry about that. Anyways, I went far back enough to get the last word of power for Unrelenting Force, made the pack larger, however mammoths were not in my pay grade. Being more prepared this time, I now attempted to throw some wolves from the first courtyard and into the second. I tried the left side with no luck, the right side with about the same amount, tried scaling the wolves, when I found something, a hole large enough to save this run. I packed as many wolves through the hole, did some spinnies in the party, and resurrected the wolves, this time in the second courtyard. They took out the enemies here, however the elf I needed to kill was inside, and remember, wolves don't enter interior cells. By the sheer grace of mighty Talos himself, a bear followed me inside, however it wasn't over yet. I tried to Fusrodar the bear down to fight the elf, with no luck. After many failed attempts, the bear engaged the elf and I got the key to escape. I made my way back to Riverwood, told Delphine about her high school crush, Esbern, and entered the Ratway to reunite them. Got trapped in a tight corridor with my bear, found Esbern locked in a David Blaine set, whirlwind sprinted past the Thalmor and was correct about Esbern being a magician. The long lost lovers got reunited. I bullied Esbern as I was jealous and made my way to Markarth, where I tried to purchase a dog, but apparently I already had one. Well, I thought that the stray dog that I had earlier died, as I had not seen him in a while, but I guess he was just waiting for me somewhere. I gained 2 new saber cats from the old orc encounter, watched all of my animals get annihilated by one Argonian, died to a dragon. So I reloaded a save and entered the dungeon, which I always forget the name of, then cut myself, as Esbern being able to get a lady and I couldn't really hurt my feelings. I learned some ancient stuff about dragons, spoke to the Greybeards, put some salt on their salmon sandwich, learnt the Clear Skies shout and made my way up to party snacks. I asserted my dominance on all of dragonkind, learnt of an elderly scroll, which is not just a mouldy thing from the bakery, went to Ureg Groshub to learn more about this scroll, spoke to some crazy kook in the frozen wasteland of Winterhold to learn even more of the scroll. On the way, I gained some hawkers to the crew. These were definitely going to be useless in battle, but at this point I just wanted one of every animal. I then made my way to the dungeon which held the scroll, got lost for a while, died, got lost again, died again, did a cool whirlwind sprint, entered the land where elves go to experience acid, died, and solved the puzzle to gain myself the Elder Scroll. The next quest was to fight Alduin at the throat of the world. However, the animal pack needed a boost, so I ventured to Windhelm and Riften to bolster the ranks. After doing so, I read the Elder Scroll at the Time Wound. When I came back, all of the animals were dead. I reloaded a save, waited 24 hours, and this time I was able to resurrect one bunch. I had a feeling this wouldn't be enough to defeat Alduin. I found a spot where I could wait 24 hours, reanimated the rest of the animals, and now it was time to defeat Alduin. I thought this fight would be harder, but it really wasn't. The bears dealt enough damage to take him down relatively quickly. But Alduin ran home to his mama, so we needed to trap a dragon to get information on where he went. The best place to do this was Dragon's Reach. However, Jarl Balin wasn't too keen on this because of the war. The Greybeards said they would hold a peace treaty, which Ulfric and Tullius both agreed to attend. I sat through the meeting, making sure to roast the Thalmor. Balgruuf now would agree to the dragon trapping. We went out to Dragon's Reach. This guy got a free ticket from Dragon Airlines. I called Odahviing, snapped a collar around his neck, and rode him to Alduin's safe place. One problem: the animals did not follow me. I waited for some time, but still no sign of them. I was going in alone. I ran past the Draugr and entered the tomb and had no ability to eliminate the Draugr inside. There was a puzzle up ahead with a dozen Draugr chasing me. Solving it wasn't very easy. After struggling to do so, I punched a web, ran past some spiders and came to a roadblock. I needed this Draugr dead to retrieve his claw to open this door. After some searching around, I found a trap. Used the reanimate power to activate the flames, but of course the Draugr survived with a Dark Souls health pixel. Another try eliminated him. I exited outside and whirlwind sprinted into the portal to Sovngarde. I proceeded to make my way through Alduin's fart clouds, met with High King Torug, and now I had defeat to Sun. This was it. There was actually no way I could defeat him with just animals. Well, I did have the Spectral Wolf Conjuration spell, which seemed like the best option I had. You can be the judge of whether or not this is an animal. The wolves finally took to sundown. I crossed the dragon bridge, spoke to some ancient Nord heroes, we shouted away the smoke clouds, and now we had to face Alduin for realsies this time. There wasn't really much I could do but just wait for the three warriors and Sun to finish the job. Once they got him weak, I had to land the finishing blow. The spectral wolves would not attack. I had to punch him, meaning that you cannot beat the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim using just animals. If you enjoyed this video, then give it a like. If you want to see more, then click the video on the screen. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.